two mysterious forests, a great beast and some trackers following us? That's right, this is part 3 of my playthrough of Cartograph, and it's full of adventure, so let us get started. If you are new here with the adventures of Marianne, I'm going to leave the link to the first video in the top right corner and check it out and then come back here later, why not? Last we left off, she was in the city of Great Drift and she was ready to go and explore a bit more. Here I am, cleaning up my map because it was a bit of a mess after my last session and deciding on where to go next. The next discovery point follows a beast of some sort, and so in true D&D fashion I chose a whole bear because I just love them. They are so big and scary, but have you seen them when they are little? They are just so cute. But I don't know, maybe it is me talking after playing hours upon hours of Baldur's Gate and just falling in love with the little bear. So, you know, I had to do it. On her journey here, Marianne was blessed by a rare event. What is she with? And then the discovery point is titled A Legendary Lair of Some Deadly Creature. What common folk tale is told about this creature? What makes it so powerful? And we got 1 wound and 5 coins from this adventure, which I will note in a bit right there on my card to keep track of all of Marianne's stats. At the end of the day, she is taking a rest in the wilderness. She will exhaust 1 food point for a biodome dice and 1 coin for a temporary dice that I will add to my pool. If you are new here or you can't quite remember how it works, I've got 2 pages for each spread. On the left, I'm going to be taking notes of every event that happens through the day. As a reminder, I use a spread for each of the days that she is in this terrible and new land. To the left is where I take notes in pencil about the different events that happen and the different resources she uses or she gains. And then on the right, this is where I'm going to be journaling from her point of view. In the previous session, I was doing some doodling instead of doing some scrapbooking, which I didn't really like at the end of the day, so I've decided to put a bit more of an effort in the way I present the different days here, adding some washi tape and some paper to just make it a bit more striking. I'm really enjoying the process and the way it looks every day with a different vibe depending on what's happening. So let's just see now what Marianne has to say. Great Drift was still visible in the distance when our troop came across a spring between 2 hills. We filled our water jugs and drank the clearest water I have ever tasted. It was as if I was a new woman. No longer did my bones ache from our journey. Unfortunately, on our travel, we came across a dark cave. A local farmer warned us about it, but curiosity won over. Oh, how terrifying an owlbear is! I ran faster than ever and barely made it out alive. The chase left me exhausted, and that farmer simply would not stop laughing at me. With this, I also added the exhaustion to the list of wounds that she has on my little card here. She is allowed 4 different wounds because she does have an armor on her, which give her 1 more slot. But after those 4 wounds, something very dangerous can happen. So I'm really hoping that it's going to get better for her, even though it's not looking very, very great right now. But with that in mind, let's see what day 9 will have in stock for us. I think day 9 is the part where I start getting really frustrated with the way marking the map is going on, because you are supposed to be using the different biodice to be creating the borders of the land, except that the more you create, the more borders you have, and it's really hard to keep all of those dice within like the same space. They keep going over where the sea is, and there's only so many islands I can be creating before it becomes ridiculous. And this round is when I start getting frustrated with the different landmark dice, because there are just so many towns and city and settlements that are showing up here. To give you an idea, in the southwest of the map there are 10 different landmarks that are all cities or towns, and in my opinion it's just a bit redundant and a bit boring, and I wish the game would have changed something like this and have different landmarks that are not just settlements, you know. And I feel like in my choice of where to go next, even though you're supposed to pick whatever is closest to you, I'm always more likely to choose any kind of biome place, like forest and rivers and everything, because at least we've got a tiny bit of variety instead of just like another town and another town and another city, which is a But back to day 9 we are, and on her journey she witnessed something dreadful, and it scares her, and she will lose 1 point of reputation. In the forest, which is called Red Timberland, it is alpine and snowy. Thick sleet covered the underbush. What notable tracks do you spy in the snow? Where do they lead? In terms of rest, she took 1 food for 1 biodice. I made this page look a bit more floral and lively, and also added some birds and some foxes that are in the snow to represent the forest that we are now visiting. Those are some leftover stickers I have from a theme I did in my bullet journal a few months back, so I'm putting them to good use here so they don't just go to waste, because I'm done with them in terms of my main journal. I just really love the contrast of those browns and rabbits with the snowy little bits. It's very striking, and I just love how it looks. But now let's go back to Marian's journey, shall we? We were awakened at dawn to the sound of grunts and yells. Blood coated the grass where a group of hunters had killed the owlbear. I could barely stand the look of it, this poor thing. As we were walking toward the forest, the weather got colder until snow was covering everything. Soon, I noticed tracks in the snow. I followed them to a clearing, and an owlbear cub, so small and sad. My heart broke at the sight of him. But soon, sounds through the thickets turned into another bear, who took the cub as her own. How beautiful. I just love the way the story is progressing with those owlbears, and the fact that they are recurring during this session. I just think it makes sense because it's all happening in the same region, so I find it logical that events close to each other would go together, if you know what I mean. Because it's kind of hard to decide on distances within the map itself. It looks big and small at the same time. We have a big mountain range, but also it's difficult to imagine all of those tiny towns just on top of each other. So the scale of it is a bit of a difficulty, but we will make. Which leads us to day 10 of the journey, and me again struggling with the different dice to just make it work. It is not fun, I will have to say. I did not have fun with this part, even though creating the map was supposed to be my favorite part of the game. But just those tiny houses drawing for cities and settlements was kind of boring and not really interesting at all, which is one of the very few negatives I do have about this game. This is also a good time to be talking about the tarot cards that I am using in place of the normal cards that you're supposed to be using. This gorgeous deck is Oak, Ash and Thorn by 3 Tree Tarot. I will link her I will link her in the description, because she has a bunch of different tarot cards decks and they are just gorgeous. And we're definitely going to ignore the fact that I got a joker here. That is a bit of a problem in Marian's journey. So what we did get is, for the journey, it was perilous and put you in harm's way with another wound on top of the one from before. The Joker was a people you had previously visited tracks you down and confronts you. What did you do? In the forest, it was infested and unsettling. Dangerous creature here made them home. We are getting rid of one ware, and for rest, we're getting rid of one food for diamond dice and one coin for temporary dice. In terms of the wound that was given, this is cramping muscles on top of exhaustion, which doesn't look fun at all, if you want my opinion. In terms of the name of the forest, very nicely it came Silent Vale, which definitely fits the unsettling vibes of the place, which is why I use all of those dark colors here to be decorating the page. And I also used one of my previous stickers, and I think it fits perfectly. It is a drawing of a woman in the forest with some kind of doe or deer just right there, and I used that as inspiration for just the rest of the page and the rest of the story. And I like to imagine that Marianne herself did all that in a book, because she's definitely a better artist than I am. And she wrote "Who is she?" as a caption, because we just do not know. But let's get back to her and to what she has to say about that day. Where red timberland was all redwood trees and the song of birds, Silent Vale carries death on its trees, as they rot on the spot and creak with each step you take. The hunters from yesterday attacked us during lunch, with accusation of stealing the owlbear cub for ourselves. It almost turned into a fight, but a haunting sound paralyzed us all in fear. I still refuse to believe what I saw. A woman of furs and twigs, as spectral as the full moon, followed by a white deer. Still now, I can feel the chill down my spine when she walked past me. Sleeping will not prove itself easy. I do feel bad for Marianne in that case, because she really did not have it easy during this session here. Those two wounds just hurt properly, and she got a second joker, which brings her to one red joker and one black joker. And if she gets free of either red or black, she dies on the spot, which is game over for us. And I'm really hoping that that's not going to be the case. I would very much like her to survive the next few adventures that she has. I also find at this point that doing 3 days at a time is just the perfect length of a session for me. It just keeps the energy going and I don't really get bored of it. So I think that's what I'm going to keep going. And we have it here, all 3 of our spreads for the day. If you enjoyed it, please like and follow. I post every week.